Good afternoon, traders and investors around the world. Welcome to the last half hour of power with no technical difficulties. Been working with my co-host this afternoon, Mr. Sean Udall, and I think I got this computer stuff down, but
I think we conquered it.
I think we did. So let's go here. Let's take a look at the markets, the S&P futures. We took out that pre-market low, tried to rally early in the session, took out the pre-market low, not by much, started to rebound. And then you got some news out of the White House about some tax rates for corporates. That caught a bid back up into the 4,200 handle. But for a change, folks, we are not staying in there. We're currently at 41.9350. Crude been pretty much flat the whole day, down a penny at 68.82. Gold backing off 1900, down 34.90. Silver in the red by 64 cents at 27.56. Bitcoin doing the old 35 to 40K tango tight range today, up $610. These be the futures. At 38,650. Ethereum futures up 47 and a quarter at 28.20. So we got a lot of stocks to talk about today. Why don't we first bring in Mr. Udall and see how he's navigating this wild and woolly day on Wall Street. Sean, how you doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing good. We got some of the usual suspects here in the crowd, and boom, boom. I just want to talk to you real quickly about the meme stocks. I don't know if you're trading them or participating in them. Certainly moving the markets around. Do you have any thoughts on those?
Well, I would say I'm probably in kind of the outskirts of the memes. I could probably coin that. The outskirts in meme town. So I would say Fubo is one of those. Okay. I would say Skills is probably one of those. But if you're talking exactly like GME, AMC, I literally try to ignore them, but I pay attention to them enough. And for example, yesterday I kind of talked and wrote to subscribers. They said, you get 1, 2, 3 day run in these meme stocks that's this hot, right? It's the velocity of the move. It's just super hot. It just doesn't last long. And usually, well, every time, including now, we had a little correction. Yeah. I don't know if we get a big one, but it kind of like it kind of is almost like a signal to the market guys, the biggest guys. It's like, look, let's just shed some inventory. I mean, I've kind of done that last couple of days myself. You may have as well.
Yeah.
It presents some good opportunities, though. There's some things selling off quite a bit off yesterday's highs if you want to play that game. But yeah, I would say I'm on the outskirts. I mean, I was in Skills before it was even known. Then it got hot. And then, we all know the story of it.
Trimming in that? Or
I trimmed it several times on the way up, and I wrote a lot of call premium on it. Didn't sell at all. I think we were on a couple months ago, and what probably was, where sometimes the best decision is not a sell half or a sell 3/4 or a sell a quarter, but it is a sell all. And you can't trade them all perfectly, but yeah, I trimmed it good. Skills has been very good to me, even right here, hugely off of highs. I mean, it's 100%er, so I can't, in highs yesterday, what is that, 108% or whatever. But yeah, the bottom line is kind of on the outskirts of it. I tend not to be in them. I kind of get into them by default.
All right.
So something I buy cheap gets hot, it becomes, kind of part of the meme. Wouldn't you say anything with really high short interest could be memed?
What makes you finally just exit those things, completely?
The ones I'm in?
Like something like Skills. I mean, when will you just finally say, would the story has changed? Would it be something in earnings? Or, what would it be where you just said,
usually for me, it's more of a stalling out pattern. Or the price of other things is so attractive.
Gotcha.
That's probably for me the number one. Like I have, up 40% plus, that's a sell level. Then there's some trim levels that are double, triple, whatever. You got to trim some, but those usually just bring a stake down to kind of where it used to be, But yeah, no, the biggest thing for me, in fact, I recently sold Casa, which was not really, I wouldn't say that was a meme stock at all, but $3 stock went to 10. That's a pretty good move.
Right.
Little penny stock. I ended up selling all that because everything got cheap. Affirm got cheap. Datadog got cheap.
Oh, just kind of swapping out the assets in your
Yes,
portfolio.
exactly.
All right. So, what is on your radar here? I know you're not roaring kitty, but you deep value. You like to find value in stocks. You like to build positions, like Auntie Kathy. And so, what's currently on your radar?
Today I would say the trade of the day or my stock of the day is Splunk. And Splunk is a name you and I have talked about many times. Used to be kind of one of my old top 20 list stocks years ago. Followed Splunk from the IPO, really even pre-IPO. So IPO'd, I believe, in 2013. And $28 stock then went to 100 and something a year and a half later. Spring of 2014, huge meltdown and all those kind of names. So I've been in and around Splunk for many years. But I mean, this isn't 30 and it's not 50. But this is probably the best buy on Splunk it's been in a long time. Since, well, COVID lows. You'd have to look that up for COVID lows. I'm going to guess it was 95 was the COVID low. I could be off.
Let me. You know what? I just realized here my bottom right chart is usually a daily, but or a
I'm pulling
weekly,
up right now.
weekly. But
93.92 was the
okay.
COVID low. So if
Uh,
you believe that was a good buy on Splunk, gotta say $112 feels pretty good. I don't know when it works. I don't think it's going to be years though. I think you can get a big move. The report, I think I'm gonna go so far to say the Wall Street analysts now are overly worried about something they should have been worried about 4 quarters ago. So yeah, I got you to laugh on that one, but
all right.
that's
No,
a
it's fun.
subject you and I have talked about many times. So the bottom line is, what are they doing now? A lot of downgrades, a ton of price target reductions. Arguably, I would say this is a quarter I could probably raise my price target if I formally had one, which I probably will again. I don't know
Okay.
if Splunk retakes a top 20 position for me though, but I like it a lot. I bought it today.
All right. Well, we'll drill down on the 10. I mean, I can't give you much today. I just will say they're hitting it off the report. We haven't come to this 110.28 level.
No, I kind of hope
112.
they test that. I hope they
Yeah.
test it and break it because I'd like to buy more kind of 105-ish and lower. So yeah, we'll
All
see what
right.
happens.
So you're nibbling. You're nibbling into that.
Although it was a pretty good nibble.
Yeah, it's pretty good nibble.
Yeah.
How many stocks usually like you said, the top 20? Do you usually have more than 20 in your trading swing
I
portfolio? Lot?
personally do. Yeah, I personally do. It's not like Dennis. Dennis always talks about hundreds of stocks.
Well,
I
that's for his day trading
Yeah, but I
portfolio.
mix it all together. Day trading, swing trading, long-term holds, they're all in the same places. So yeah, I mean, I try to keep it under 50
Wow,
because you
that's a
get too
little.
many. Here's the problem, and you know this. If you have to sell fast and cut exposure fast, the more positions you have, the longer it takes. May not seem like much, but there are days when you want to unload a lot of stuff in 15 minutes or less. You're dealing with 70, 80, 90 positions. You can bleed hard just
Yeah,
because you have too many dang positions.
especially in these kind of markets. But
These very fast moving
Bill
markets,
Big
yes.
D mentions lots of price target cuts on Splunk today. So, wait, usually, catching the falling knife on the first day is kind of tough, but we know you like to average into these positions.
Well,
And
but look at the pattern on this. This has been a sell-off since whenever the highs were, probably I'm going to say January, February, 50% sell-off. Already hit 110, bounced pretty good. I think this is a really nice retest. I think this is if you hadn't had any coming into today and you like the stock, you love this. But there's a lot of owners of the name. So if you're an owner of Splunk and you have some, you don't love a day like today because you're kind of hoping that 110 level from before wasn't going to be revisited.
exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else that let's just maybe get some updates. I know you were begging me to buy the dog, the data dog, and,
Oh,
that has had a nice rip up from the $70. I believe this was this low here. Was that on earnings day? when it
I
hit
think it was the day.
$70.
It was the day before. Well, you know what? Yes, it might have been earnings day, and then they had earnings, and I think it went to about 76 or 77 that night, if
And
I
then
remember right.
it puked, right?
No, no, it literally hit the low the day of earnings.
Oh,
Earnings were
really?
that night. Yep, hit the low. So
Yeah.
yeah. But
Uh,
anyway, this. I mean, that's down 3. I mean, it's. I think it's kind of doing what it should be doing today. You know.
Yep, and boy, oh boy, that it got close to 96 a few days ago last week, and that seems to be a big area. That's when it tried to recover from 75 before. Hit three highs in the 96 handle, ranging 96. I see 96.14, 96.35. Another high at 95.52. You can tell sellers. Well, actually, the sellers got caught up here in the highs that you had in April at 93.99. Where'd we get this day? Probably got into the 93 handle. Yep,
Mm-hmm.
94.36. So those daily highs coming in and playing a little bit of a role, getting a pullback. Just overall market sentiment here. I mean, the big whoosh overnight, right? And then the comeback. Just overall, how you feeling about? I mean, I know I'm more S&P centric. You're more Nasdaq and
Yeah.
triple Q centric. I mean, it just seems like it's hard to call this like a meaningful correction when you're still like for the S&Ps, they're still so close to all time highs. What are you looking at this as a buy the dip opportunity, or you sitting back a little
I
bit
don't
in
know if
confused?
today would
It's not
be the
really a
only.
dip.
No, I don't. I don't like to be the early dip buyer. You get 2 or 3 days of this. Yeah, I think because I don't think we get a bit. So you said sentiment before. Interesting. Good. Perfect segue. So sentiment hugely bottomed out. It's recharging higher, but it really hasn't like gone up a lot. So like if you look at put call, if you look at McClellan oscillators, if you look at NIMO, NICE, NASI, et cetera. So NASI and NICE are cumulative. They're healing, like they're just kind of healing, but they haven't really gone up a lot, and they went down a ton. They went down a ton off the February highs. The whole structure of this market was really interesting. Indices just didn't correct much, yet hundreds of stocks kind of
Did.
crashed. I mean, 50, 60, 70% off highs. Was hard to, at one point for about 3 days, it was hard to find a SPAC that probably wasn't down 50 to 75% off of highs.
All right.
So yeah, yeah.
I just want to talk the autos here with you.
Yeah, fire away.
And first of all, some bad news for Tesla out of China. I guess their orders got cut in
Ooh,
half, and
yes.
boom, boom, boom. I don't know. You had a pair of highs at 620, one on Friday, one on Tuesday. Now rolling over. I don't know about this one, but I'll tell you, 3 monthly candles, 540, 540, 549 last month, starting out on a red candle this month. I just am not sure that 540 is going to hold up this time. Seems to be a lot of momentum coming out of Tesla. EV, some of these have popped on short squeezes and not, but
Mm-hmm.
got a little bit of GM in one of my portfolios.
Nice.
Certainly not enough. I've been out in and out of Ford, but what do you think? I mean, you see these kind of moves. Is it something that would you be buying these on a pullback, or are you?
Well, I'm short Tesla, and I think the last time I was on with you, I said I was gonna, keep increasing my short. GM, I totally screwed up on. Love the stock for really the better part of the last year and a half. Both, even pre-COVID, I liked it. Post-COVID, loved it. Never bought any, so congrats on that for you,
Yep.
because that was probably the easiest kind of no-brainer along. I mean, I'm in. Hey, Romeo Power, EOSE, blah blah blah. I'm in a few of these SPACs. In fact, I think it's kind of a good pair trade. Long cheap EV SPACs, short Tesla. If you're for people who are into pair trades. But yeah,
Romeo.
no, I think it's Lee and XPEV and Neo. They're growing way faster than Tesla, so it doesn't surprise me at all that Tesla's losing sales over there.
All right, if you
Yeah, we'll
guys,
just have to
we're gonna
see.
have Sean here for about four more minutes here. If anybody has any issues that they want to take Sean to give an eagle eye from his unique technical perspective, throw him in there. If not, I just want to ask you about the big tech here, and it just seems like these meme stocks are killing the big tech.
Oh, they are.
Apple,
They do.
yeah, Apple just can't catch a bid here. They sold this off into earnings. I know you've been following in and out of Apple for years.
Forever.
I
Yeah.
just think this thing is getting too heavy here. A couple monthly lows, last 2 months lows. Wow, we're right here, 122.49 and 22 and a quarter. It's a quick outlook for Apple here as the S&Ps really start to lose some momentum here going into the close.
I would say I agree with you on big tech. It's kind of my least favorite area of tech. I haven't owned Apple for a while. I think Google's probably the best name of all of them, but it's up like $1,000, 1,400 to 2,400. So I don't know. I think it's a relatively unattractive part of technology. I mean, Twitter. I like Twitter a lot. So
Oh yeah, what do you think of the
Intel, I
Twitter
like
move today?
Intel a lot. I
What do you
like
think of the Twitter
Qualcomm a
move?
lot. Twitter, I well, I think you and I, this was one of our ideas for Twitter to do to kick butt in 2014. So I'm glad that they finally did something that you and I were talking about 7 years ago. Well,
How,
yeah.
how come we can't be activists?
Oh, well, maybe
I guess we're
someday.
only like a half a billion short or something,
But
right?
seriously, you remember that, right? You
Yeah.
remember we had a whole Twitter plan, and one of, I think, the items I had highlighted specifically was subscription-based revenues. Doesn't mean they have to go to a model. I'm just saying all they have to do is start launching products with subscription-based revenues. It would add 2, 3, 500 million a year in revenue. It'd be huge. And that was off a much lower revenue base back then. So,
All
but no,
right. I'm
you know what? I like Twitter. I think Twitter's going higher.
trying to get into the gap. I know.
Yeah, no, I think
I
all-time
saw it
highs again.
today. It just got up to that gap area, stalled out, but still near there. Seems like always like have these earning crushes and manages to come back and fill the gaps. I'm just gonna give you a couple more stocks here and I'm gonna let you go.
Shoot.
I think you mentioned open before. Is
Mm-hmm.
that something now that looks like that hasn't left the station yet?
No,
Uh
like it's healed a little, but it hasn't moved a ton off of lows. And I think this was a big overshoot on the downside. So that's the quick and dirty on that. I think it goes
okay.
higher.
And then I'm not too Andrew Garver is asking about ARVL. Is that
Arrival, I know it. I know how what was the SPAC symbol? But yeah, it's a D-SPACer. I don't know that one super well.
it looks like you got Andrew, looks like you got a little breakout here today. You'd been stalling out, you got
It
rid of the
looks like it, Joel. It looks like a lot of the charts in the EV SPACs. So a lot of the good ones look like this. Well, they all look like this. STEM looks like this. Nuve looks like this. Romeo looks like this from a lower base, etc.
all right, and then I doubt if you follow Ally. I don't know how
I
much
don't
you've
know if I
been
know that one. Ally
following the
Financial. I
Oh, look at
is
that.
that no? I love that. I love that year ago, basically when I was buying all the banks.
They said
I,
that they're going to no overdraft fees. I thought I heard that
Yeah,
the other day.
I don't think that hurts them at all. No, that's very strong. I couldn't buy it here. It's like I
No,
love
yeah.
yeah, I couldn't buy any here. If I owned it, I would probably hold it and write covered calls on it. That's probably because I'm
All
doing
right.
that with several of my
It
banks
just,
right now.
yeah. I don't know if yesterday was the news, but it looks like there was the news high there at 56.61. Couldn't get there today. Instead of focusing on, man, and how many times do you see this trick? You have a stock have a good up day, makes a new high for the move, kind of pulls back. And you got to close yesterday, what at 55.66, and you had a little bit lower of open, and then you tried to get through that close, right? Nope. Sellers wanting out of the mark. You also had a weak market, 55.61.66. So I'm going to ignore that 56.61 high now. What I want to see is it clear this, make it at least clear this and make a new all-time closing high, or else get back up there and hold. But it definitely could be a little bit susceptible to a sell. All right, you said you
Yep,
need to go 10 minutes before the
you
close.
got it,
It's
buddy.
9 minutes before the close here. So Sean, I'll let you get out of here, and I'm getting some tickers here from the pre-market prep fans out there. Thank you all for joining me. I hope
Hey,
it
you
was,
bet.
yeah. Thank you, Sean. We'll be
Take
talking to you
care.
tomorrow, folks. I'm glad you came over to join me here. We will be doing a regular pre-market prep show tomorrow. I'll be doing pre-market prep plus from 9 to 9:30, getting those symbols updated after the big jobs number. And then, of course, at 10:30 to 11, we'll be doing pre-market prep with stock odds from 10:30 to 11. And then we'll be back here on these airwaves at 3:30 tomorrow, wrapping up what is a wild week on Wall Street here. Trying to get my Belmont pick together yet. Just little bit of a busy week, so I'm going to try and get something together for you guys on that. But now it is symbol. It's ticker time. I wish I had some bells and whistles to do that, but that will be for another time. Another day. Just real quick, Twitter, we did mention that working its way into the gap. That would be the setup for now. We did back off though. We made a new post high rebound. Oh, they caught it at 58.67. That high at 58.61, 58.32. Someone's trying to keep it in the gap. So maybe gonna need another run. But so far, a little bit of the sell the news here in Twitter. Let's go. Target TGT. I think that I'll take a look at Target. Wow. Folks, I mean, who wants to be the one to call top? Okay, I will. What I'll say is that you're consolidating near the top of the move. You're off the all-time high. I thought this would be an all-time high. I think this is pretty simple. And I'll just look at this and I'll go to my daily lows here. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lows at 226. You're currently trading at 229.17. So I'm not gonna say, hey, sell your stock here. The stocks are going back up to all-time high. If you're looking to try and re-enter or get along, maybe 226, even though it's been down there 4 times, it could definitely. But if I was long this thing, I'd just be hawking this 226. It's had a big run up. If you lose that, your next daily low comes in at 223.26. So still $3 off that level. Another strategy that Sean mentioned was selling calls or something against it. Long consolidation period. The highs, a little bit of a higher high today. But basically for the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sessions, you've been trading between 226 and the higher end of the region is 230. So keep an eye on that. That's been the trading range. Who knows? You can come out with an upgrade or some forward guidance from the company, and that could always blast it off into another level. But 226, and then bumping up against the highs right now, where we did get to 230.23, currently trading 229 and change. Let's see here. What else do we have? What other tickers do you want me to look at here? Andrew Garver. Oh, Home Depot and Lowe's on the way down. Full disclosure, long lows from I believe in the 40s. That was a long time ago. That was a Lisa pick. First, we'll look at Home Depot. HD. I tell you, I don't know how they make any money because I go there all the time, and I hardly spend any money. With the stuff. I know I'm kind of cheap. This had the earnings. It got hit off earnings. Actually, the street sold into earnings on this one. Got a little pop up to earnings. I don't know if one of my Twitter followers that talks, but he was looking for 290, 295 on this one. This is looking heavy, leaning down on the lower end of the trading range. This is your key level. Your key level is 309.07. That was your May 19th low, current low 0969, but you got a little bit of a bounce here. 1263, not really much lower high than the previous session. For tomorrow's session, I'll give you a number to look at, and that would be 313.23. That was your close in yesterday's session. Not a great week for Home Depot. Lows, how low can you go? Let's take a look at LOW. Yes, lumber prices could be hurting them as well. But man, those stores are always busy. A great same kind of formation here, headed on the low of the move. This is the start of the month here, folks. So are we going to have a red month in this one? Well, this will determine whether or not this would be the red month. You had a low back in May at 188.39. That was a low for the month. Today, oh no, excuse me, 186.38. That was a low. You're still $2 off that. You're getting a bounce. Could be at the bottom of a little trading range, maybe curl up and loop up near 200. But once again, you got a major, major support level. Couple lows in the same area. Let's see what happens at 186 and a half. What's this? Vista Wander. Snap seems to be stuck in a trading range, like around 52 is the place, but I'm I am leaning on anything. I think that's what that says. Snap, not a big user of Snap, but let's take a look. Um, Still in that 50% retracement area. You pulled off the high. Oh, boy. I like got a double top Tuesday and Wednesday. You know, I like to look at that stuff. So it's important. You're back $3 off that high of 63 84 and 63.69. It doesn't figure your exact 50% retracement. But it got above there a little bit before. It stalled in April, got back up there again, stalled at the end of April. Back up here again. This is a scenario that you've seen. Actually, it got bit was in this area before installed. So really an important area. I would look for this to get off the bat real soon, get into 64 handle, or maybe looking for some downside. JG is asking about Pfizer, PFE. You know what? The pharmaceuticals seem to be a little bit out of favor here, folks. Just a rotation in the market. Pfizer, God, it seems like it catches a cold every time it gets over 40. Got up to 41, then struggled with 40. You are figuring a round and bottom here, but how many times have you seen in Pfizer where you get some of these formations and then you get some kind of news and boom, you plop down another leg lower? Support is support until it's broken. 38.48, that's low. Bunch of lows, 54.63, that should be leaning on. Will it go straight down to 38? We don't know, but 37.96 was your May 6th low. Papa Powell's asking about Ford. I mean, great day for Ford. How can you ignore the stock? It's just been it's ripping and it's clearing another major handle here. So would I like to see it on a? I don't even know what the classifying a pullback is in Ford. Making a multi-year high, chewing through the paper at 16. So making a new closing high for the move. I mean, just move your stop up and let it go. What do we have here? Got to go back to the monthlies if you're looking for some targets above here. Boy, let's just call it 1650 because you had 1649 in February of 2015, in March 1661. So hey, if you want to hold out for more here, let's go to 1650. Folks, I'm tired. We're coming up on the closing bell. It's been a while. Tomorrow's Friday. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to the pre-market prep show with Dennis in the morning, and of course Spencer. S&Ps. I mean, not a horrible day. Not a great day. We came quite a bit off the low. Couldn't take out that the intraday high is only 0250. So that'll be my area of interest. Will we finally stay under 4200 for good? I said 4180 was a most hold area over the jobs report, and they took it out overnight on me, which is always a little bit disappointing. But hey, another day, day to do levels, look at the markets. I hope everyone survived out there. I am signing out, and I'm going to have a really relaxed night. Be back with you tomorrow morning. Thanks a lot, folks.